Hey, what's up, Ivan? What's up, Tomo?
Hey, Misaki.
So have you guys been watching any cool anime lately?
Yeah. I mean, like, I know that there's some around the corner. Or by the time we're recording this, it's the spring season of anime just getting started. But something I'm really excited for is a lot of the Kodansha manga that's going to be having an anime coming up this season. So I've been trying to read up on it before the anime premieres, just to sort of get a little bit ahead on the story, and I don't know, just to check it out a little bit before the actual anime releases.
Oh, so which one is your favorite?
Well, the ones that I really got into was Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, as well as Love After World Domination.
Oh, nice. Let's see. I heard that everybody's talking about Shikimori-san. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, after reading it, I really understood the hype. I understood why people are excited, and I think that so Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie is kind of a slice of life romantic comedy by Keigo Maki. And for folks that are interested, I think by the time that this video airs, a few episodes will have already been released on Crunchyroll Domination. So if you're enjoying it, this might be a way to like get a glimpse of the manga if you're really enjoying it. Essentially, there's a note by Keigo Maki at the end of the first volume that says, "This is a face manga."
Wait, what do you
has
mean?
fun with faces. So I guess that's the thing. It's a slice of life romantic comedy, but it's similar to a gag manga where it's very short chapters, like maybe 8 to 10 pages a chapter. And the crux or the gag that happens in every chapter is when Shikimori is going to make the really cool face. And you will know when it happens because it is just usually given a like splash page or a big panel or something like that. But the face is drawn in such detail that you really get all the emotions that are captured in it. Whether Shikimori looks angry, whether she looks concerned, whether she looks really lovingly towards her boyfriend Izumi-kun. It's just drawn in such detail that you can't help but stop and look at it and like really just sort of sit in the really nice emotions that happen. The romantic comedy really centers around the main couple, which is Izumi-kun, this naturally unlucky, very kind soft boy who's just very supportive and very in awe of his girlfriend Shikimori-san, who is kind of like really cool in everything she tries. And because she intensely loves Izumi-kun, there are often these exchanges of glances where where it's through his perspective, where it's like, oh my god, she's so cool. And there are a couple times where we get through Shikimori's perspective where we see how like cute Izumi-kun is and sort of like why they're together. But it does a lot in fun ways to sort of like play with gender expectations in terms of like, there's a chapter where they go to a horror movie and Izumi-kun's like, finally I'll be able to show her how manly I am like through this horror movie. But Shikimori-san's more of the horror fan and like picked a really scary one. And so Izumi-kun's just like, going nuts with fear. And at a point where Shikimori-san notices that Izumi-kun's like really scared, she looks over at him and just sort of like, like stares at him in this way. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, and I'm here to help, or I'm here to see you through this like really scary movie. And I think that they do that so often that they kind of make Shikimori be more of the boyfriend role in this case, which is not to say that she's only taking care of him and is this sort of subservient role. Is that like Izumi-kun's like really supportive of Shikimori-san across anything. I think there's this one moment where it's they're walking around and Shikimori-san sort of sees the poster that Izumi-kun gets like really excited about it, and so like I didn't think boys were into that, and Izumi-kun's like I admire women who act cool, and so she takes that and it's like, okay, I'm gonna show up in a cool outfit, and like Shikimori-san looks so cool and like definitely like more masculine, but you see that Izumi-kun is like really all about it because he just loves Shikimori so much. That no matter how she decides to present or what she decides to do, or he's just very supportive. And I think that there's something really cute about that, especially because it's a very chaste relationship. I think like they've gotten, as far as I've read, they've gotten as far as holding hands. So it's not even like it's that spicy. But it is really adorable to see these like, high school kids just be very supportive and kind to each other. So I think the small chapters are really more like glimpses at the things that make their relationship very wonderful, very like connected. And I think it's really cute. And I'm excited to see how it gets translated to anime because, because the chapters are so short, I feel we get like a lot of like mini stories within an episode. And I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to see the Shikimori face. But yeah, I think it's really fun, really cute, plays with gender roles in a way that you wouldn't expect. And is really just like a supportive relationship. I think that this is an interesting, it's along the same lines, but also on the other end of the spectrum to like Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro-san, because rather than teasing each other and getting these like very intense faces, it's like supporting each other and getting these really intense faces. So yeah, I think it's super fun.
It's like many aspects of like one person show up in the story.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. This boy, Izumi-kun, doesn't sound so unlucky at all. If he could be with Shikimori.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess that's the thing is of why he's able. Shikimori at some points, is sort of asked like, it's through a dinner with Izumi-kun's parents, and his mom says like, I know how unlucky he is, and I know how some people might consider that a burden. And then Shikimori sounds like, the thing is, Izumi-kun is so kind in the face of all the things that he's suffered. And being with a person like that makes me want to be with him forever. And it's just like, that's really cool. It's just like, what's the line? It's funny because the moms are like, wow, I wish you were my girlfriend. It's just like, okay, this is hilarious. So what's it called? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of really cute and beautiful terms that like turns in this relationship that it's like, wow, this is healthy for even an adult relationship, but these are like high school kids. And I think that that's really nice to see, like to see a very supportive and kind high school relationship. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's
totally
it's a really
looking forward to see. Very cute. Like looking forward to see where their relationships are going.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. That's Shikimori is not just a cutie. She's also has many sides of her. Okay. What about you, Tomo? Have you been watching anything lately?
Yeah. So my recommendation or one of my recommendations for this season would be A Couple of Cuckoos.
Yeah.
It's by the Miki Yoshikawa. I think you might have recognized the name.
Yamada-kun. Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches.
So this is the creator's newest series, Couple of Cuckoos, and let me show you a few panels here to tell you the story about these cuckoo birds. Okay, so similar to what Ivan shared, he shared like a rom-com. I have another rom-com recommendation for this season called Couple of Cuckoos.
Oh, nice.
It has nothing to do with birds, but it has to do with these two our main characters who are switched at birth. That's kind of how it starts. And as you see, they're in the hospital bed, and then we fast forward to the present time, and we meet our main character, our boy Nagi Umino. And at this point, he knows that they were switched at birth, and then he's like a really smart dude. He's like studying for his entrance exams, and this is where he's about to meet his real parents. And he enjoys his parents that raised him. He respects them, so he's about to say, hey, I'm not going to be your son. I'm happy with my life. And on the way there, he has a dramatic encounter with this, our female character. Her name, we find out, is Erika Amano. So it's kind of similar last name. I think that's why they got switched, right? Umino and Amano. In like Japanese characters, it's the same, like similar characters. So he meets this girl. He thinks like she's about to jump off, but she was kind of just doing, she's actually like a really popular like influencer, and then a lot of his classmates know her, and she's kind of doing stuff for, to get attention.
That's
And,
dangerous. Do not attempt this at home, guys.
Yeah.
She's just kind of getting some
Yes.
angles, some views. and then she's, they start talking, and she's, Erica's like, my dad set me up with the guy that I don't really want to marry, and and then they just kind of, start talking more and more, and then she asks him, hey, can you be my boyfriend? So I don't have to marry this creeper. And he's like, I'm not sure about that. It's kind of, all of a sudden. But I guess I'll help you play along. Like, they take a picture with each other and then send it to the dad. And then, the dad's like, oh, stop playing jokes. I already kind of arranged this for you. And then, they kind of say their goodbyes. And they find out, Nagi goes to the dinner, and he finds out the guy that she's supposed to marry is him.
Oh no!
set up marriage with him. He's like, oh, whoops, and
that worked out.
So that worked out, but they're both now hesitant and they're shy. So this is kind of how the love story starts. There's other characters that will be introduced. Nagi actually likes another character at his school, and he's trying to, triangle, yes. And so there's a little more layers to the story, but it's this kind of this story about set up marriage, kind of similar to Love and Lies, or I guess a medium spicy domestic girlfriend. It's kind of the vibes I got, right? Not too spicy.
Mild, medium, spicy, no medium.
Yeah, I think medium. There's kind of, you get a little bit of fan service here and there, and some cute girls here and there. So, I think this will be, one of another rom-com to check out for the spring 2022 season.
I've always been a fan of Miki Yoshikawa sensei since Yamada-kun and Seven Witches.
Same creator.
I think one of her strengths is these like really cute girls. Like she could draw girls, maybe because the female artist, like she has like incredibly cute girls who are really like fashionable and like super cutthroat.
Yeah, the fashion aspect, you can see it. And even like Nagi's sister, she's like a younger sister, but she's drawn really cute as well. And so, you make a good point. Yeah.
Great. I can't wait to see them being animated. All right.
Yeah.
So Ivan, what else have you been watching?
Something that I've been kind of curious about in terms of the trend in manga, especially after My Hero Academia, is the sort of like increasing adaptation of like the concept of Western superheroes in manga. There are plenty other manga like One Punch Man and what's called, like I said, My Hero Academia and all the various spin-offs that they have. And even now there's manga adaptations of Marvel and DC superheroes. So there's like a Superman manga as well as a Deadpool manga. And so I think that having these really fun interpretations of Western superheroes in manga is super fun, because I think the action in manga is so cool. And I think that Love After World Domination is a really fun twist on this sort of like, it focuses on like more of a Sentai group. So in this case, it's there are two warring factions in this world. That is Gelato 5, which are these Power Ranger type groups, and then the Evil Gecko, which is this sort of like evil organization that's just trying to cause destruction and mayhem and stuff like that. So I think that like though it has this sort of like Power Ranger aspect, I think that it's more of a love story between one of the leader of the Gelato 5, which is Fudo-kun, He's a Red Ranger, basically. And one of the lieutenants, who's known as what's called Reaper Princess, Desmi. They're both in high school and kind of fell in love on the battlefield. And so now they have to sort of keep this secret relationship while they're still going about their usual work as, people who are fighting in this, war between good and evil. They're also really dumb about dating. I think that that's one of the most hilarious aspects about their relationship. Like Furuko, like the beginning, like this is part of this is from the first chapter, where it's just, I've done some research and couples hold hands, and I think we should give it a shot. And again, these are people who are putting themselves on the line for both good and evil. But when confronted with something like relationship stuff, like holding hands, Desumi sounds like it's too soon for us. And so I think that there's so much comedy in terms of like their unfolding relationship, and that is also like very sweet at the same time, because it seems like it's the first time that they've both been in a relationship. But because they're they're on opposite sides of this war, they kind of often have to jump back into their role as like mortal enemies. So at any moment they can be caught by either the good side or the bad side. So they have to like pretend like they're fighting each other. So their dates are actually whenever both factions clash, which I think is hilarious. Like it's like trying to have an office romance that only exists at the office that you have to hide from everyone, which I think is hilarious.
In the middle of epic fight.
In the middle of epic fights, yeah. Like I think what's it called? Even some of the standard tropes of like romantic comedies, like the jealousy factor, like maybe like in this case, Furukun ends up like having a sit down tea with one of his teammates, thinking that the teammate suspects something, that something's up, but Furukun's like, oh, I know why you called me here. You've reached a plateau in your strength training. Here, let me help you. And it's like, use this workout book, use this protein shake. And because Desumi-san like saw this, it's like it's the standard trope of like, oh no, you went to have tea with somebody else and now I'm really jealous. But like I think where it's like slightly different, it's that you have the heightened battles that they have with each other, but then you have this sort of conversation of like, I saw you at the cafe, and then no, it's a misunderstanding, and this becomes like, I know, like it's just I got really jealous seeing you with somebody else and thinking that maybe someone else is better suited to be with you, and like they have these really like kind conversations for like being again in first time relationships, and
also
I think
enemies.
in a lot of it, yeah, and also like enemies. And I think that like I don't know, part of these sort of chapters, like I mentioned, the office romance sort of thing, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Boycombing, or Sweat and Soap, where it's these sort of like loves that are born out of workplaces, but then what becomes the more central story is just the relationship with each other and how they end up hearing each other out when there's conflicts, as well as supporting each other with however they want to be together, in spite of outside influences or other people potentially meddling in. So I don't know. I think that this is really fun. It has a lot of neat action, which I'm really excited to see how they're going to animate in the anime. But I think ultimately it's just a really cute love story. Just two idiots in love and trying to, keep their secret identities of their relationship. So yeah, I think it should be real fun.
It's like Romeo and Juliet for Sentai or something.
Yeah.
How could they keep up is not like, I don't know.
I
want to know how they could keep up with their secrets.
So I think part of it is also that like the everyone around them is also seemingly pretty dumb as well. Like the Zordon, or like the doctor that gave them all the Sentai people their powers. It's like Furukun has like a relationship with like, oh, I'm just a little distracted. and this professor is like, "You're in the prime of your youth. If you're in love, you should go out for it." Like seemingly not knowing that he means go to woo Reaper Princess, who's a mortal enemy, and also like. Reaper Princess's boss is like this evil mecha bear that has cannons on his shoulders. And similarly, anytime she's trying to hide something about the relationship, it's misinterpreted as like, "Oh, Reaper Princess is really tough and like really cutthroat." It's just like, okay, this is really funny. So I don't know. I do think that it's like by the end of the first volume, someone does find out. But I think where it goes from there is going to be a lot more different than you think. And I think it's going to be a lot more people sort of being supportive and figuring out a way to like either hide the secret further or, just be out in the open while also battling each other, which is probably going to be the next conflict in terms of what their relationship is. So I think it's super fun. Yeah.
So manga is out, and anime is gonna be on. This one's on Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Crunchyroll and Funimation. Yeah. There's no. As of this recording, there's no date set, but Crunchyroll did announce it as part of their spring season. So keep an eye out for it coming out later this season.
Okay. So Tomo, do you have another recommendation?
Yeah, I do. My second series I want to recommend is called The Dawn of the Witch. I feel like we talked about this series last Kodansha Live. That's
We did.
because we did. We'll also be releasing the novel of this series, and also the manga is out right now in digital, and this will be an anime coming soon. And so The Dawn of the Witch is about, this. It kind of starts off with our main character. His name is Sable or Sabe, and he meets this mysterious silver-haired girl, a witch, he thinks, and that's the only thing he can remember from his life right now. And so I think one of his goals, I guess, in the story is to find out who he was or where his memories are, or who is this mysterious girl, silver-haired girl. And I think maybe people who kind of recognize this artwork or this story, this is actually a continuation of a story called Grimoire of Zero, which is an anime. You can watch the anime, and Amazon has it. Sentai has the Blu-ray available, but this is like a continuation. So I actually watched the anime, and it kind of gave me a little bit of background, some insights on the Dawn of the Witch story. They use the same terminology like Beast Fallen to kind of categorize the people that are like half man, half beasts, and some of the magic they talk about is also, it will click with you. So Sable, our main character, he's on a journey now. There's a girl character that's his classmate. Her name is Holt, and then also there is a witch character. As you see, she looks very, very young, but actually she's a professor. She's very, very older than them, and so she's like her professor, and she's kind of guiding them along this journey. And they're out to go on this special training mission. And we also find out, there's an alligator character. I mentioned Beast Fallen characters. This is one of them. His name is Kudo. And an interesting part of this world is that a lot of people don't like the Beast Fallen characters because they're kind of discriminated because they're different, or they think they cause trouble. And we do find out, like, for our friend Kudo, he was kind of tortured back in the day. You can see he was in the cage, and he's just like, please, I don't want to go back to this kind of life. But there is some people that are kind of looking for him. You can see this one of the antagonists. He's ready to fight him. They kind of encounter him and start a battle. And this is, I don't want to spoil it too much, but later on, there is a twist at the end of this volume, and one of the characters is not who they seem they are. So I think that's one of the hooks.
What's going to happen?
That's kind of the reason I'm like, okay, let me read volume 2 and see what's up. another also an aspect of this is there a love interest here with Sable and Holt? Like the girl, she's kind of like, "Hey, I like you," and then he's like, "What?" Then on the next panel, she's like, "I meant I like you as a friend," and so like, okay, all right. So I like kind of, the mild spicy. We're talking about the mild, medium, hot, but this is kind of like a mild romance for now. But yeah, I think you're gonna see more character development. You're gonna see more battles. If you're a fan of like the fantasy, you're a fan of the series before, I think definitely this is a anime you want to check out this season.
So this one, I thought it was like an isekai series, but it's actually a fantasy.
I think it's more fantasy. We don't get to see his life before, or maybe he doesn't know. He doesn't.
Oh, right, because he lost his memory.
Yeah, right, but when the first volume opens up with him meeting his silver-haired girl, and just kind of like a blurry past. So we don't know, if he was in a different world or not.
The mission is to kind of find out who he really is.
Yes, and then I guess train to be the strongest guy
in this crazy world.
This crazy world, yeah. If you're a fan of like Dungeons and Dragons, it kind of gave me those vibes, like the magic and different characters and different roles. So yeah, I think this is it actually caught me by surprise. I got into, as I read more into volume 1, I got grabbed into the story.
So this anime is actually animated by the Tezuka Pro?
Oh yes, our friends at Tezuka, yes.
That'd be really interesting to see, how they're going to adapt this like style of art, because I really love like how the characters look in this series a lot. So I'm very interested in see how they're going to be coming alive when it becomes an anime.
Yeah, I think even the trailer, it did have some interesting action scenes, and I liked how they animated some of the the characters and the scenes. So I'm looking forward to it, and especially like you said, the Tezuka Productions always does a good job. Right
on. Thank you so much.
Okay, Misaki, what about you? What manga have you been reading in anticipation for the spring anime season?
Well, I am all in for Boy Konming. I've been a fan of this series since it made a splash as like a digital series from Kodansha. I was like, wait, what is this about? So this is a reverse isekai series, and this is where, the record of Three Kingdoms. Konming is one of the chancellor in that story, and so he's like a very old-time tactician of the war. He's a very highly intelligent guy. He had a whole life of epic battles and stuff, and the story begins when he's on his deathbed. So he's like, in my next lifetime, I wish I would be born into a world with, no wars, just peace. And then, he passes away. Ends up waking up in this crazy place where it looks like there's a lot of monsters and beasts around. So he ends up actually being transported into a modern day Tokyo party scene. And he understands that, okay, I totally get it. I am in hell now. So he thinks that, he passed away and he's just made it to another realm. He's like, oh, hey, the people around him are having Halloween parties. And they're like, hey, isn't that Konming? Check it out. And what a great quality cosplay you got there. So people just thinks that he's just with the party. And he kicks it with the randos. That's him drinking some hard A's there. So he just ends up kind of partying with everybody else, and finds himself in a club where he listens to this wonderful music by this female singer. Later finds out that her name is Eiko, and he was really moved by her song and the way she sings. So the next morning, Eiko comes out of the club after work and finds Konming on the street just totally wasted, and this is how much of a homegirl she is. Like she ends up just taking him into like her house to take care of him, just to make sure he's okay. And you know, more than that, like she even like, you know, kind of is like, okay, he doesn't know what's going on. I'll like teach you some basic stuff, like how to use a cell phone or smartphone. This is him like really being freaked out for using smartphone for the first time. Like, what a high definition quality scroll you have there. So, you know, remember he's from like, you know, several thousands years ago. So he's, you know, doesn't know these technologies, but because he's an intelligent guy, like he picks up on it like pretty quick. Like he learns how to like search himself on Wikipedia and stuff. And she also introduces Konming to her workplace and her boss, who looks like a kind of a scary guy, but he's actually a really nice dude too. Like he looks out after like Eiko, and seeking for a job opportunity to work at the same club. And he, of course, the boss actually agrees to it because he ends up being the Three Kingdom fan, like a big fan. So he kind of tests Konming a little bit, like, well, if you're really Konming, then you can answer these questions, like, why did you make these like war tactics, blah blah blah. And you know, sure enough, Konming has like a very plausible answers to it. Like he's like, yeah, you're like Konming for real here. So that's how he gets into working at the same club as Eiko, and learns how to be an awesome bartender here. But like ultimately, he's really like starting to get into like the music scene that like he's witnessing like while he's like working, and he's really supportive of Eiko, like, and he actually offers to be her personal tactician to be a famous singer. Dun 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 dun. This is like kind of just the beginning of Boy Konming, but like you start to see like how his like intelligence and his nature as like a war tactician really helps to come up in the world of music with tactics and some trivial answers to Three Kingdoms as well. So it's something that you can watch with a lot of humor. You don't have to know about Three Kingdoms, but you will probably learn a lot about it, and like you start to think, wait, what is this about, really? So it's your gateway to your another nerddom, I guess. So that's Boy Konming, and this show is actually playing on streaming on High Dive, and it's something that you might want to check out to see more anime that you might not have seen yet. So I hope you check out Boy Konming as well as other anime on High Dive. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited for how they do the music for Boy Konming.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like it's such a central part of the manga, but you know, because it's the silent medium, it's like we just imagine whatever the music is.
I know, we just like imagine the greatest music ever, right? No, I think actually you pointed out that one right, because like they do put like real music on these scenes where like the characters sing and stuff, and it's actually really well done. Like I was actually really like, oh wait, I want to know more about these songs like after watching these episodes. So like yeah, they did a pretty darn good job of producing music to go with this this anime. Boy Konming or Paripikomi. That's like Paripikome. That means party people kome. So that's my favorite anime.
Nice.
And thank you to both of you for recommending some like really awesome mangas and animes to look forward to this season. And,
I think there's a really great amount. So yeah, if anybody's curious to check out any of these series, I just wanted to throw a reminder that on Kodansha.us we have the first chapters free. So for any of the series that we mentioned today, you could go there and actually read the first chapter for yourself to check it out and see if it's something you like. And get it acquainted with it before the anime even comes out. So.
Right on.
Yeah. I hope people can write in the chat which one is their favorite.
Type.
Like,
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you guys about anime and kind of like nerding out about it. So let's do this again really soon.